on target.
Almost there.
Stay on target.
They're right behind me.
Almost there.
Hello and welcome to this edition of Yakima on Target. I'm your host, Sean Davido, and today I'm joined by Glenda Epperheimer. That's correct?
That's correct.
Epperheimer?
Yes.
And she is the founder of the Yakima Facebook group, Yakima's Beautiful. First, I just want to start off, let's talk about what is the Facebook group, Yakima's Beautiful, and why did you start it?
The Facebook group is something that is offered by Facebook where you can start a group, and I've said this a lot, it's starting to sound cliche, but I really mean it. All I really did was just start it, and the members have taken off and run with it. And I'm not really that involved with it anymore. I just started it, and it's just taken off, and I'm really proud of the members.
Now, how many members are there? There are several members, and you just started this pretty recently, right?
10 weeks ago.
Right.
We're approaching 5,500 members. So
Now, I consider this kind of a movement. To get that many people, it's almost like a grassroots movement to tell Yakima how beautiful Yakima is.
it's been very exciting and surprising, pleasantly so.
Now, again, why did you start the group? Let's talk about that.
I think two mindsets really. I was born and raised here,
Right.
and I'm almost 60 years old, so I remember downtown Yakima a long time ago, and I have a long memory. So, I mean, I remember Newberry's on the where the Chase Bank sits now,
Right.
on Yakima Avenue and First Street.
Right.
I remember Grant's across the street. I was 11 years old when the Yakima Mall was built, so as a teenager I spent every weekend at the mall. So I've seen Yakima evolve. I know what it used to be like, and I know what it's like now. There is a tendency, I think this is human nature, to, when you reminisce, everything seemed like it used to be so much better than it is now.
Right.
And I have fallen into that trap before. I've always loved Yakima. It's my childhood home. But I try to realize that it's not always the case where things were better back then than they are now.
Right.
In fact, with Yakima, I think just the opposite,
Yeah.
honestly. I mean, I was in high school in the 1970s, and Front Street was an area you did not want to go near.
Right. It was a little bit of a scary place.
Yeah. I mean, they had the Corral,
Right.
strip club,
Yep.
and the Blue Banjo. You know,
Yep.
you can have. It's very historical,
Yeah.
and in that light, it's fun to talk about. But that block was pretty seedy, and now, you know, as a child, my dad used to take us to Leavenworth because he loved the hanging flower baskets. He wouldn't have to do that now,
Right.
because we have the beautiful hanging flower baskets, the cobblestone street. Front Street is historical, but it's cleaned up, and the old time lamp posts.
Right.
Christmas time is beautiful
We
with
have a Christmas parade in downtown Yakima.
a lighted parade, and the tree across from the Capitol Theater, the Larson building,
Yeah.
with the beautiful lights. It's beautiful, and I think improved
Right.
in so many ways. And so I got to thinking, you know, sometimes Yakima gets an unfair bad rap.
Yeah, on itself.
Yeah.
Sometimes Yakima is down on itself too much.
North First Street, of
Right,
course, is
yeah.
probably the main area that could use some help, and it's getting it.
It's getting it.
I
yeah.
mean, you don't want to drive down there right now because there's a lot of construction going on. So it's getting improvement even down there. The other thing is I have grandchildren who I sensed were taking for granted the fact that we're the fruit capital of the
Right.
world.
Exactly.
People from Seattle come over to visit our beautiful vineyards, and we have family in Kansas City. And I was doing a brewery tour there a couple of years ago, and I walked in and there was this big mural that said, "We start with hops from the Yakima Valley."
Right.
And I was like, wow. They buy their fruit at their local Costco in Kansas City that's raised here. So I was telling my grandchildren, you know, not every place has the orchards that you drive by every day. And
In town, we have some in
Right.
the city of Yakima. We have orchards.
And they said, oh, really? So I just think we all need to realize that I say it a lot, we're so lucky.
Yes, we are. And other places, now, other places have challenges too. Yakima isn't the only place. We do have some bad
Absolutely.
areas. We have some issues. You're not saying that Yakima doesn't have issues.
It does have issues, and so I do spend quite a bit of time in Spokane because my son lives there.
Right.
Spend a lot of time in Seattle. Every place has issues.
Yes. I have some nieces and nephews that come from Helena, Montana, and they kind of have the same mindset that I had when I was a younger child. Helena is not the place I want to be. They love to come to Yakima. They love to come to Grandma's house and visit all their relatives, visit the parks, and see all the wonderful things that Yakima has to offer. And those are young people from another community.
And I have noticed the people sometimes who love Yakima the most are the ones who are relatively new to Yakima.
Exactly. They realize what they have come to, what a gift it is to be here.
Right.
Let's talk a little bit more about your Facebook page. What do people post to Yakima's Beautiful?
What they post, mostly photos.
Right. A lot of sunsets, a lot of sunrises I see. So.
But also interesting places to see and fun things to do. And honestly, I have been amazed at the places that I didn't even know existed.
Yeah,
that
exactly.
I need to go check out.
Yeah, and we've lived here our whole lives. And they bring up things.
So it's a great place to get ideas.
Yes. Now this is a closed group. Why is it a closed group? How did it come about? What is the deal with
Well,
the
I
closed
didn't
group on Facebook?
choose specifically for it to be quote unquote closed.
Okay.
But Facebook has a couple of options. One is just to create a page,
Right.
and you can follow the page, like the page, unfollow, unlike the page. But a group is where you have to join, and there are members. And I liked the idea of the group over the page because I like the idea of a community of members.
And there's a little bit of guidelines. It's Yakima's Beautiful.
Yes. And some of our most enthusiastic members don't even live here,
Right,
but they like to see their family, the place where their family lives.
Yeah. You get a lot of that on other sites, not just Yakima's Beautiful, but people that remember Yakima and say, oh, I miss home.
I miss home, or oh, this is where my family lives. So a lot of people say, well, I can't share this photo. So my answer to that is invite your friends, regardless of where they live, and then they can see all the photos.
Right, exactly. And you will let people into the group. You would prefer to keep this a positive group as the goal.
As much as possible, yeah.
And so if people start being negative, will you remove them from the group?
Out of nearly 5,500 members, there have only been, believe it or not, 2 people who I think voluntarily removed themselves from the group, or else they would have been removed from the group. And that is pretty astonishing.
That's amazing. How do we keep this going?
I don't,
Glenda?
and on
Go ahead.
well,
go
on
ahead.
that same vein, I have a moderator, by the way, and maybe soon more moderators.
Right.
But I wanted to step back and let the group take wing and let the members
Let it grow.
You're right.
Let it grow.
And
It's a
so
grassroots
I didn't
effort,
want
it
it to
really
be all me, and so I selected a moderator, who I don't even know,
Interesting.
because I wanted it to be someone who was unbiased, not doing what he thought I wanted to do, but he was a active, enthusiastic member in the group, posting a lot of photos. I had a good feeling about him. I asked him if he would like to do it. He said he would love to, and he's done a great job.
Wonderful.
And so I can sleep and know that if anybody
You can take a vacation.
gets
if you
out of
need to.
hand, he can monitor the comments. We do want people to have opinions.
Yeah.
If a restaurant is not to someone's liking, if a campground that somebody suggested is not to someone's liking, it's okay if they say it wasn't for me. But there only have been 2 occasions when people got personal.
Right.
And that's what we won't accept. And so
And attacking and bickering and some of the
Attacking,
other stuff that
right.
can happen on social media. Sorry.
Right. And I want to encourage, because there are so many members and there are only 2 of us currently moderating the comments, if someone is offended by anything, they can easily just hit report. We immediately get a notice, we can check it out, and then we decide it's okay or whether or not to remove it.
Right.
So reporting it, if something's really egregious, is the thing to do.
Right. So back to my other question, how do we keep this going? How do we keep your Yakima's Beautiful movement the movement going?
I think inviting your friends.
Right.
I mean, there is an option without getting technical and putting up a screen that says you go here, you click here. It's pretty easy to invite your friends to the group. You can click on their names. You can invite your whole friends list to the group if you want.
Interesting.
And they can accept or decline or ignore. But that's the way to make this group grow, and I really want to encourage that.
Now, how do we change Yakima's opinion of Yakima? Will this help? This is one way. I think if we spread this out even beyond Facebook.
How do we change people's
how do
opinion?
we change people's opinion of Yakima?
Well, this is just my small
This is one way.
contribution. I'm sure other people have other ideas.
That's right. It's like I say, this is how the grassroots movement starts. Somebody starts a little thing, it grows rather quickly, and then we all get on board and jump on the Yakima's beautiful train. Another question. So how do you, if you get into a conversation with somebody that's negative about Yakima, how do you deal with that?
I have not, probably will not engage in conversations.
Right.
I just kind of let it play out and don't interject me personally.
Right.
And if it gets personal and people are attacking and saying vicious, rude, I guess
Right.
is the word, then we just remove their comments.
Yeah.
We don't usually remove them from the group, just remove their comments.
Right. Now, what about if you're out in public and you have a conversation with somebody? You're just talking to somebody on the street, and they say, Yakima, I don't like Yakima. Yakima's horrible. What do you say about
I just point out the good things.
Yes.
Like I just did earlier in the interview, where, remember that our memory is not always how we wish to remember it.
Right.
Yakima, there are so many, malls
Right.
all over the country are kind of fading away.
Yeah.
So there are a lot of people, we don't have a mall, and that's just, really bugs some people. Well, we have a lot of great businesses
Find the
right here on
positives.
2nd
Yeah,
Street.
find the positives.
Beautiful high-end salons and restaurants and fun things to do, our festivals, our downtown summer nights,
Right.
music in the park at Franklin. There is just so much and opportunity for family and festivals. It's so if people personally not on Facebook start putting Yakima down, I just try to point out the positives and sometimes say, I remember how it used to be,
Yeah.
and that used to be great in a lot of ways, and in a lot of ways it did not.
So find the positives, look for positive things in Yakima. Love where you live is what I always tell everybody. I love it here. I try to find the positive side of it. Sure there's bad things,
Yeah.
but if you look for the positive, you can find the positive.
And I think the thing that I have gotten the most enjoyment out of is people have told me in person and on the group page that they set out each day now where they didn't used to, physically looking for beautiful things.
Right.
Where it used to just be a walk or a drive or an errand, but now they're looking around, seeing there's beauty everywhere if you look for it.
Right. Yeah.
And they're looking for things to snap a photo of, or an idea of, hey, I did this, I went to this place, it was so fun and interesting, so they'll post about it.
Right.
And so people have gotten enthusiastic about opening their eyes and looking around, and that's just been wonderful.
And you've given them a place to share it with Yakima is Beautiful
Oh.
on Facebook. So,
I hope so.
anything else that we should talk about? We've talked about quite a bit of stuff. Is there anything else you want to share?
The only thing I can think of, in addition to what we've already talked about, is everybody has a different opinion of what's beautiful.
Yes.
So the idea is share what you feel is beautiful in Yakima and about Yakima.
Yeah.
And everybody's going to have a different opinion of that.
Right.
For some, it's a vintage car.
Right.
For some, it's their livestock. One of my favorite photos so far has been a picture of goats standing on tree stumps.
Right.
And
I think I saw that one.
With
Yeah.
rose bushes all around them. And I thought it was a statue at first, but
Yeah.
nope, they're live goats. And I just thought it was the most beautiful photo. In my opinion, other people would just scroll on by and think, well,
Right.
that's
Yeah.
not beautiful to me. So The thing I would encourage people is if you see something that you don't particularly find beautiful, scroll on by and you'll find other things that are beautiful. So everyone has a different opinion of what's beautiful, and if we all just respect that, then I think the group will stay strong. So thank you so much for
Thank you very much.
having me and promoting this group. And like I said, I don't consider it my group. It belongs to the members, and I'm really happy that it's been successful.
And feel free to invite your friends. If you're not a member, find somebody who is and join Yakima is Beautiful.
Yes, you can just go to Facebook and request to join.
Right.
And we'll get a notification, so-and-so has requested to join the group, and we hit approve as fast as we humanly can, and it's fun.
All right. Okay.
Thank you
very
so
much for joining me
much.
today. And thank you for joining us on Yakima on Target. If you're interested in joining the Yakima is Beautiful Facebook group, visit facebook.com and search Yakima is Beautiful, click the group page link, and click the join icon. The Yakima is Beautiful group is a private, closed group, and moderators of the group maintain sole discretion for allowing membership and any content posted to the page by group members.
Stay on target.
Almost there.
Stay on target.
Almost there.
For more information on YPAC programming, please call 575-6092.